Welcome, food travelers. I'm Simon.
And I'm Micah.
Welcome back to the channel. For this episode, we actually kind of decided to do something a little bit different. With all the traveling we do, we decided to do an airport lounge episode. It's kind of our saving grace since, all the destinations we head to. For me, and I think for us, Micah, we just really enjoy kind of having that separate space and being able to do the things we need to do prior to heading to where we need to go.
Absolutely. I think having a lounge is a great separation in between the flights. After you go through TSA, you're already so stressed out. So having a little bit of lounge space to clear your thoughts and get wherever you need to get done before you head on the airplane is definitely a great space. One thing about this lounge is this is the Seattle Sky Club Lounge with Delta. They open daily between 4:15 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. and it's located on the concourse A near Gate 1. Also another Delta Sky Club Lounge over at the S Gate. That one opens daily as well. It's from 4:45 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. It is a great lounge to go to as well. You don't have to be flying international flights.
And just one more thing to mention is don't forget to watch through the entire episode, because at the very end we're going to talk about a secret lounge for any Amex card holders that, when we were using that lounge, we found it very useful at the time when we were there. Kind of one of the things, if you're not familiar with lounges, is they kind of offer you this space, and depending on the lounge itself, they might have, or they generally have food, bathrooms, and some even have showers and other kind of amenities that you can use to kind of make going to the airport less hectic and just a better overall experience.
Yeah, and in some of these lounges, they also have like a private conference room. So if you are with your coworkers, you can rent one of those rooms and finish out your meeting or do whatever you need to do.
And just some things to note for Delta itself. You have to have a flight within that day, and you have to be flying on Delta to go onto their lounge. You also need to be a Sky Miles member, or a Sky Club member, I should say, to actually access the lounge.
And other amenities that this lounge has, as you see here, there's a bar coming up, and yeah, you can get complimentary drinks at the bar.
Don't forget to tip your bartender too, even though it is complimentary. Always a nice thing to do. But yeah, that's for us. One of the things we really enjoy doing is grabbing some breakfast or lunch, depending on when your flight is. Especially at this location, Micah, I really enjoy during lunch time two items. The first item I really like for me is actually this clam chowder that they offer there. It's something I always get, and I get double. I always get at least seconds when we're there. And then for dessert, they actually have this really, really great sea salt caramel cookie that I just love, and I'll always grab like a handful of those.
That is an IFRS clam chowder that they have at this lounge, and you can see in one of our episodes that we did cover the Seattle's IFRS clam chowder, so be sure to watch that one too.
One of those iconic restaurants in Seattle, and so we're really glad that they do offer that here at this lounge.
Yeah, and Simon, when you mentioned about that sea salt caramel cookie, that is definitely one of my very favorite items too. I know that same company that Delta has partnered with, they also have these kind of like a chocolate fudgy brownie too, and those are pretty good too. Another one of my favorite items here for breakfast is they have this cheesy egg omelet. I think they put a lot of cheese in there, so that's one of my favorite items for breakfast.
Of course, depending on when you go and what time of year, you might find different foods. In general, I think, Mike, from all the times we've been 10. For breakfast, you have your kind of your staples: sausages, eggs, muffins, hash browns, things like that. I think mostly during the lunch and dinner time is when you kind of have more of a variety of different foods to choose from.
In this next video, we're heading over to Delta Sky Club in LA. This one is located on Terminal 2 in the mezzanine level. They are open daily 4:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. There is a second lounge that they have across from the main lounge, and that one is open 6:30 a.m. to 11 p.m.
This lounge actually has been kind of newly renovated. It's actually been expanded and much larger than it used to be. I remember this lounge, Micah, we went to, especially during the construction time, where it got really small, and I remember it was almost like shoulder to shoulder, just no space. Feels like you were kind of, for me, a little bit claustrophobic, where everybody was just kind of right next to you. But now that they've expanded and kind of improved it, it definitely is a lot better than it was before.
I remember that time too. It was really busy inside. It was loud outside too with the construction. I just remember going in, grabbing a few things, and then just leaving right away because it was so crowded in there.
But as you can see, the designs are all kind of uniquely different, which I think is kind of cool with the lounges. And of course, with any space at the airport, you can't make it quite exactly the same, but I think that makes the uniqueness of each lounge really cool to go see. In this case, it is not quite as big as the one over in Seattle, which I think is probably one of the biggest ones, at least I've been in. But you can see they kind of have the kind of similar layout in terms of food offerings. They'll have the coffee station, there's a bar, a place you can grab fruits or whatever kind of food items that they have out available, and then a place to get drinks.
Yeah, every one of these Delta Sky Clubs, they're all very different, but then at the same time they're really similar too, in terms of where the food placements are and where the bars are as well. So it's really easy to know once you get in. You check in at the front, and then you head over to the back and you have your seats and then all the food. And in this next location, we're heading to Austin, Texas in the Delta Sky Club. It's near Gate 4. They're open daily at 4:15 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. I think this one is a really unique shape. The seating area is kind of in a center shaped with all the bar in there. It's like a 180-degree bar. There's also like a outdoor seating as well, where you can actually go outside and get fresh air. It's really unique.
Yeah, and as you can see from the video, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, that's one of the kind of cool things about all these lounges is they kind of get to design it, depending on the space and what they have available all differently. But yeah, as you can see that the bar is at a different location, where it's this kind of circular circular room where you have all these windows out and the seating is really cool. And then you have different locations where you can have your, do work or do whatever else with different views. And so it's actually really cool. One of the things also that stood out about Austin was they actually decorated it pretty uniquely compared to other places that we've been to, where they definitely try to bring that Austin vibe into the lounge itself. So that was definitely noticeable.
Yeah, and as you see here in the video, the eating area is totally separate from that circular section with the bar, and there's this unique way to open the door to go outside to this outdoor seating, where you kind of have to press like a code like button. It kind of feels like you're in a spaceship to me.
Yeah, and one of the things that are cool about this place, because it does have that indoor-outdoor space, and not every single Sky Club has that opportunity to kind of get that outdoor space as well. So if you're looking for fresh air, this space definitely has a spot for you to come out, and as you can see, it looks nice and comfortable, and you definitely, you need to relax before a flight, this will give it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes inside these lounges, as nice as they are, and you get that free space, it's nice to have fresh air to breathe too.
Similar in terms of food wise, similar to other places. I think one of the things that Delta does try to do is they try to offer a local dish at certain places, and I'm not sure if it's just for breakfast, but I know at least for lunch and dinner they'll try to offer some kind of food that is specifically from that location. So I believe that's probably why in terms of Seattle we have the clam chowder, and it's from Ivers because it's very a localized dish for Seattle.
Yeah, and here we have these lunch items here. I don't quite remember what they all are. Do you, Simon?
But yeah, there's always variety, and of course, these are on the days that we're there. So if on other days that they're definitely gonna have different foods, always different things to try. So that's also one of the things I do like about the lounges is you get to try different things.
Yeah, I think one thing they could improve on this particular lounge is maybe they could add some sort of a brisket, huh? That would have been really nice if they did. It would be definitely a local thing that other places wouldn't have.
I think it takes a little bit too long to make, and not quite have hiring a pit master to watch that over. I think it's a little difficult. And now up is the secret lounge. If you take a look, you might be familiar with what you just saw. And this lounge is actually located at the Universal Studios Hollywood theme park. It's actually at the lower lot, and it's right next to the ride The Mummy. Originally, we didn't even know it was here until we kind of walked by, and I think it caught our eye, and we decided to stop and take a look to see, oh, can we actually stop in here?
Yeah, this one is a Amex lounge. So one thing to note is you need to have the Amex Lounge Platinum card. So these are for Platinum card holders only. I believe this one is something that they do check when you enter.
Yeah, and it's not very large at all. It's a tiny lounge, nicely air conditioned though, themed very well, of course, with all the Hollywood props. Snack wise, it was just very basic chips and some water. But for a hot day, getting a little break and not being with the huge crowds is actually really nice.
And another thing to note is for these lounges, there are no outside food or drinks allowed. So if you are holding a bunch of tiki drinks or any other snacks outside,
and to support
be
our
mindful
channel,
of
don't
that
forget to
and
hit
finish
like,
it before
subscribe,
you
and
enter.
hit the notification bell for the YouTube algorithm. And for more photos, follow us on Instagram. See you guys on the next episode.